The hot desert wind blew sand across Sergeant Jack Carter's face as he led his four-person patrol through the rocky valley. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and red. Something didn't feel right. Their radio had stopped working an hour ago, filling their ears with strange static. "Sir, look at that." Private Sarah Chen pointed at the sky. A bright light streaked across the darkening desert sky, leaving a trail of smoke. It wasn't a shooting star. It was too big and too close. The object crashed behind a hill about 2 miles away. The ground shook, and a cloud of dust rose into the air. Jack watched through his binoculars as strange, blue lights flickered in the dust cloud. "Command needs to know about this," Jack said, trying his radio again. Nothing but static. "Miller, try your backup radio." Corporal Miller shook his head. His radio was dead too. "We should check it out," Chen said, gripping her rifle tightly. "What if someone needs help?" Jack nodded. "Stay alert. Thompson, watch our backs." The team moved carefully toward the crash site. As they got closer, they saw pieces of strange metal scattered across the sand. The metal was silvery white and covered in symbols they had never seen before. "This isn't one of ours," Miller whispered, touching a piece of the wreckage. It was cool to the touch, despite the crash. Not Russian or Chinese either. They reached the top of a small hill and looked down. In the valley below, a ship lay broken in 2 pieces. It was about the size of a small plane, but its shape was like nothing they had ever seen. The ship's skin sparkled with faint blue lights, and strange symbols glowed along its side. "Defensive positions," Jack ordered. His team spread out, watching for any movement. "Chen with me. Everyone else, cover us." Jack and Chen moved slowly down the hill toward the ship. A door had been torn open in the crash, revealing a dark interior. Strange, sweet-smelling smoke drifted out of the opening. "Hello," Jack called out. "Anyone there? We're here to help." No answer came from the ship. Jack turned on his flashlight and pointed it inside. The beam revealed a small control room with seats that seemed made for human-sized creatures. Screens flickered with symbols similar to those on the outside. Then they heard it, a soft moan coming from behind a fallen panel. "Over there," Chen whispered, pointing her light toward the sound. Jack moved forward carefully, his boots crunching on broken glass-like material. He reached the fallen panel and looked behind it. His breath caught in his throat. Lying there was a young woman, but she wasn't human. Her skin was pale blue, like a winter sky, and her hair was silver like starlight. Strange, glowing marks ran down her arms like living tattoos. She wore what looked like a uniform, now torn and stained with silvery blood. "Chen, get the medical kit," Jack said quietly. The alien girl's eyes flickered open. They were completely purple, with no pupils, but somehow full of fear and pain. Jack had seen that look before, in the eyes of wounded soldiers who thought they were going to die. "It's okay," he said softly, holding up his empty hands. "We're here to help." The alien girl tried to move but gasped in pain. Her silver blood was pooling beneath her, and Jack could see she had serious injuries. "Please," she whispered in perfect English, her voice like wind chimes. "Help." Suddenly, Miller's voice cracked over their short-range communicators. "Sarge, we've got incoming. Multiple contacts, coming in fast from the north." Jack looked up through the broken ship's ceiling. 3 bright lights were moving across the sky, getting closer. They were ships, similar to the crashed one but much bigger. "They're hunting me," the alien girl said weakly. "Can't let them find me." Jack had to make a decision fast. Military protocol said they should wait for backup and secure any alien technology. But backup wasn't coming, not with their radios dead. And this girl, alien or not, needed help now. The lights in the sky grew brighter. The hunting ships were getting closer. The alien girl grabbed Jack's arm with surprising strength. Her purple eyes met his, filled with desperation. "Please," she whispered again. "They'll kill me." And then Your world. The ships were almost overhead now. In seconds, they would be spotted. Jack made his choice. Chen, help me carry her. Miller, Thompson, grab any small tech you can carry. We're moving out. Now. The alien girl's eyes filled with tears that glowed like tiny stars. As they carefully lifted her, she whispered one more word. Luna. My name is Luna. The desert night was cold and dark as Jack's team moved through a narrow canyon. Luna lay unconscious in their makeshift stretcher, her silver blood glowing faintly in the moonlight. They had been moving for 3 hours, trying to stay ahead of the hunting ships. Sir, her body temperature is dropping, Chen whispered, checking the alien girl's vital signs. The medical equipment was giving strange readings they didn't understand. Luna's skin was getting paler, almost white now, and her glowing marks were fading. Suddenly, Luna's eyes snapped open. She grabbed Chen's arm, and everyone gasped. The alien girl's touch made Chen's skin glow with the same patterns that covered Luna's body. Your medicine won't work, Luna said weakly. Need crystalline plasma. Thompson stepped back, raising his rifle. She's doing something to Chen. But Chen didn't look scared. Her eyes were wide with wonder. I can feel what she's feeling. She's not trying to hurt us. She's showing me what she needs. The glowing patterns faded, and Luna fell back, exhausted. Chen blinked, shaking her head as if waking from a dream. She's from a race called the Luminary, Chen explained, her voice filled with amazement. They're peaceful explorers, but they're military, the Dark Star Legion. They'd been experimenting on their own people. Luna was a test subject. She escaped with proof of what they're doing. Jack looked up at the night sky. The hunting ships were still searching, their dark shapes blocking out the stars. What kind of experiments? Luna's voice was stronger now, but filled with fear. They're trying to turn us into living weapons. The Legion wants to conquer other worlds, but they need soldiers who can survive on different planets. She pointed to her glowing marks. These aren't natural. They changed us, made us into something else. A sound like thunder rolled across the desert. One of the hunting ships was getting closer. There's an old mining station 2 miles east, Miller said, checking his map. We could hide there. Jack nodded. What about this crystalline plasma you need? Luna's eyes flickered with hope. The Legion ships carry it. All their bases have it. It's like blood for my people. Sir, Thompson interrupted, this is crazy. We're risking our lives for an alien. For all we know, she's lying. Luna suddenly sat up, her purple eyes blazing. The air around her crackled with energy, and small rocks began floating around her. You want proof. Here's your proof. Images filled their minds, memories of dark laboratories, of screaming test subjects, of Luna and others being injected with strange substances that made their bodies change. They saw the Legion commanders planning their invasion of Earth, using their transformed soldiers as the first wave. The vision ended, leaving everyone gasping. The floating rocks fell back to the ground. That took too much energy, Luna whispered, and passed out again. Her skin was almost transparent now. She's dying, Chen said urgently. We have maybe 6 hours. Jack made another decision. Miller, Thompson, get her to the mining station. Chen, you're with me. We're going hunting. Sir, Chen asked. Jack checked his weapon and looked up at the nearest Legion ship. They want to hunt. Let's show them how humans hunt back. As they split up, Luna's voice whispered in their minds one last time. Be careful. The Legion ships, they aren't just machines. They're alive, and they're hungry. In the distance, one of the hunting ships turned, its surface rippling like liquid metal. It had sensed something. The hunt was about to become more interesting. Miller and Thompson carried Luna away toward the mining station. Jack and Chen prepared to face something Earth's soldiers had never fought before. And somewhere above them, the living ships of the Dark Star Legion began their descent, their metallic skin pulsing with deadly purpose. The night was about to become very interesting indeed. The desert night was cold and dark as Jack's team moved through a narrow canyon. Luna lay unconscious in their makeshift stretcher, her silver blood glowing faintly in the moonlight. They had been moving for 3 hours, trying to stay ahead of the hunting ships. "Sir, her body temperature is dropping," Chen whispered, checking the alien girl's vital signs. The medical equipment was giving strange readings they didn't understand. Luna's skin was getting paler, almost white now, and her glowing marks were fading. Suddenly, Luna's eyes snapped open. She grabbed Chen's arm, and everyone gasped. The alien girl's touch made Chen's skin glow with the same patterns that covered Luna's body. "Your medicine won't work," Luna said weakly. "Need crystalline plasma." Thompson stepped back, raising his rifle. "She's doing something to Chen." But Chen didn't look scared. Her eyes were wide with wonder. I can feel what she's feeling. She's not trying to hurt us. She's showing me what she needs." The glowing patterns faded, and Luna fell back, exhausted. Chen blinked, shaking her head as if waking from a dream. "She's from a race called the Luminary," Chen explained, her voice filled with amazement. "They're peaceful explorers. But they're military, the Dark Star Legion. They've been experimenting on their own people." Luna was a test subject. She escaped with proof of what they're doing. Jack looked up at the night sky. The hunting ships were still searching, their dark shapes blocking out the stars. What kind of experiments? Luna's voice was stronger now, but filled with fear. "They're trying to turn us into living weapons. The Legion wants to conquer other worlds, but they need soldiers who can survive on different planets." She pointed to her glowing marks. "These aren't natural. They changed us, made us into something else." A sound like thunder rolled across the desert. One of the hunting ships was getting closer. "There's an old mining station 2 miles east," Miller said, checking his map. "We could hide there." Jack nodded. "What about this crystalline plasma you need?" Luna's eyes flickered with hope. "The Legion ships carry it. All their bases have it. It's like blood for my people." "Sir," Thompson interrupted, "this is crazy. We're risking our lives for an alien. For all we know, she's lying." Luna suddenly sat up, her purple eyes blazing. The air around her crackled with energy, and small rocks began floating around her. "You want proof? Here's your proof." Images filled their minds. Memories of dark laboratories, of screaming test subjects, of Luna and others being injected with strange substances that made their bodies change. They saw the Legion commanders planning their invasion of Earth, using their transformed soldiers as the first wave. The vision ended, leaving everyone gasping. The floating rocks fell back to the ground. "That took too much energy," Luna whispered, and passed out again. Her skin was almost transparent now. "She's dying," Chen said urgently. "We have maybe 6 hours." Jack made another decision. "Miller, Thompson, get her to the mining station. Chen, you're with me. We're going hunting." "Sir?" Chen asked. Jack checked his weapon and looked up at the nearest Legion ship. "They want to hunt. Let's show them how humans hunt back." As they split up, Luna's voice whispered in their minds one last time. "Be careful. The Legion ships, they aren't just machines. They're alive, and they're hungry." In the distance, one of the hunting ships turned, its surface rippling like liquid metal. It had sensed something. The hunt was about to become more interesting. Miller and Thompson carried Luna away toward the mining station. Jack and Chen prepared to face something Earth's soldiers had never fought before. And somewhere above them, the living ships of the Dark Star Legion began their descent, their metallic skin pulsing with deadly purpose. The night was about to become very interesting indeed. The old mining station shook as the metal dragon circled overhead. Jack and Chen had made it back just in time. Inside a makeshift medical room, Luna lay on a table, her body now almost completely transparent. Only her glowing marks remained solid. "Hurry," Thompson said, keeping watch at a window. Outside, the transformed Legion ships cast massive shadows, their metal scales gleaming in the moonlight. Chen carefully placed a crystalline plasma shard into a device from Luna's crash. The crystal dissolved into pure energy, flowing into Luna's body through her glowing marks. Color returned to her form, spreading from the marks outward like ink in water. Luna's eyes snapped open, burning with intense purple light. She sat up, her silver hair floating as if underwater. When she spoke, her voice echoed with new power. "They're here," she whispered. "All 3 Alphas." "The Legion sent their strongest." "Alphas?" Miller asked. Luna stood, her movements stronger now. The 3 original test subjects. They weren't just transformed. They merged with their ships completely. They're not pilots anymore. They are the ships. As if responding to her words, one of the metal dragons landed outside, its massive head lowering to peer through the window. Its eyes were made of swirling liquid metal, but at their center were unmistakably luminary eyes. "Sister," a voice boomed in their minds. "Come home." Luna stumbled back. "Venna, they turned you into this." The dragon's metal scales rippled. Its form shifted, flowing like quicksilver until a towering figure stood before the window. She looked like Luna, but her blue skin was wrapped in living metal, and her marks pulsed with red energy. "They made us gods." "Luna," Venna's voice echoed in their heads. "We are no longer bound by flesh alone. Join us. Your human pets can't protect you." Jack stepped forward, rifle raised. "We're not pets. We're her friends." Venna's laugh shook the building. "Friends, you don't even know what she is, what she was meant to be." Her metal-covered hand touched the glass, which began to crystallize and crack. "Show them, sister, show them the truth." Luna's marks blazed brighter. She looked at Jack with tears in her glowing eyes. "I'm sorry. I didn't tell you everything." The air rippled, and suddenly they weren't in the mining station anymore. They were in a massive laboratory. Jack and his team watched as memories played out before them. Luna strapped to a table, scientists injecting her with living metal. But unlike the others, her body didn't just adapt to it. She controlled it. Her marks weren't just experiments. They were a key, a way to control all Legion technology. That's why they hunted her. With her power, she could either complete their weapon program or destroy it completely. The vision faded. The mining station's walls had transformed, covered in a layer of silver metal that rippled like water. "You see," Venna's voice boomed, "she's not a victim. She's the Legion's greatest creation. Their perfect weapon." "No," Luna said firmly. The metal covering the walls began to move, flowing toward her like mercury. It wrapped around her arms, forming intricate patterns. "I'm not their weapon." "And neither are you, sister." Luna raised her hands. The metal responded, reshaping itself into crystalline spikes that shot toward Venna. The Alpha screamed, her form destabilizing. She stumbled back, her body flickering between dragon and humanoid. "How?" Venna gasped. "Your power, it's evolved." Because she chose it, Jack realized, watching Luna control the metal. She's not fighting what they made her into. She's making it her own. The other 2 Alphas landed, their massive forms surrounding the station. Luna's marks pulsed with energy. "Last chance, sister," Venna warned, her form stabilizing into a metallic warrior. "Join us, or die with these humans." Luna looked at Jack and his team. In the short time they'd known each other, these humans had shown her more kindness than her own people had in years. They'd risk everything to save her, not because of what she was, but because it was right. She made her choice. Luna's power exploded outward. The station's metal walls, floor and ceiling flowed into her, creating an armor of liquid crystal. She stood transformed, glowing with power that made even the Alphas step back. "I am not your weapon," Luna declared, her voice ringing with authority. "I am their shield." The Alphas roared, their forms shifting into monstrous shapes of metal and crystal. Luna stood between them and her human friends, her crystalline armor blazing with light. The battle for Earth's future was about to begin, and at its center stood an alien girl who found her true strength not in the power forced upon her, but in the humanity she chose to protect. "Get ready," Jack ordered his team, raising his rifle. Around them, the mining station groaned as two forces of living metal prepared to clash. The night sky filled with light as three dragons of darkness faced a warrior of crystal, while four humans stood ready to fight for a friend who had become something more than any experiment could have planned. The real war was just beginning. The battle had shattered the mining station. Now, deep underground in ancient mining tunnels, Jack and Luna ran through darkness, lit only by her crystalline glow. They had gotten separated from the others during the fight. Above them, the three alpha dragons searched, their roars shaking dust from the tunnel ceiling. "Your sister," Jack said as they caught their breath in a wider chamber. "Why didn't you tell us about her?" Luna's crystal armor had partially retracted, flowing like liquid light across her skin. "Because I hoped I could save her, before they merged her completely with the living metal." She touched the tunnel wall, and her power revealed hidden patterns in the rock, geometric designs that shouldn't have been there. "These tunnels," she whispered, her purple eyes wide. "They're not just mines." Before Jack could ask what she meant, the wall under Luna's hand began to glow. Lines of light spread across the rock like circuits, revealing symbols similar to those on Luna's crashed ship. The entire chamber lit up with ancient power. "Impossible," Luna breathed. "My people, they've been here before. Long ago." The chamber's floor shifted, revealing a hidden platform that descended deeper into the earth. Jack and Luna shared a look. With the Alphas above, there was only one way to go. They stepped onto the platform. It carried them down into a massive underground cavern that took their breath away. A city lay before them. An ancient crystalline city built by Luna's ancestors. Towers of transparent crystal stretched toward the cavern's ceiling, their surfaces covered in the same living metal technology the Legion now used. "This is why they chose Earth," Luna realized, her voice trembling. "They didn't want to invade. They wanted to reclaim." They walked through the abandoned streets. Jack noticed something strange. The crystals seemed to respond to Luna's presence, glowing softly as she passed. In the city center, they found a temple-like structure. Inside, a holographic message activated. A luminary elder appeared, her image flickering with age. "To any who find this record, we came to Earth as refugees, fleeing those who would turn our living metal technology into weapons. We built this sanctuary, but when Earth's humans began to discover metal working, we knew we had to leave. To stay would risk them finding our technology too soon. We left these ruins with a guardian system, waiting for the day our peoples could meet as equals." The message changed, showing technical diagrams that made Luna gasp. "This is it, the original form of our technology. Before the Legion corrupted it, the living metal wasn't meant for war. It was meant to heal, to build, to connect worlds." Suddenly, Vena's voice filled their minds. "Found you, sister." The cavern shook as the three Alphas smashed through the rock above. They landed surrounding the temple, their metal forms shifting menacingly. "So," Vena said, "you found the ancestors' greatest shame. Their weakness." Her form rippled, growing larger. "We improved their design, made it stronger." "No," Luna said, stepping forward. The ancient city's crystals pulsed with her words. "You twisted it. But now I know its true purpose." Luna raised her hands, and the entire city responded. Living metal flowed from the ancient structures, but this time it was different. Instead of liquid silver, it was like flowing crystal, transparent and pure. It surrounded Luna, transforming her. She rose into the air, her form growing until she matched the Alphas in size. But while they were creatures of dark metal and rage, she had become something else, a being of crystal and light. her marks now patterns of pure energy. "I understand now." Luna's voice echoed through the cavern. "The ancestors didn't leave because they were weak. They left their technology hidden because humanity wasn't ready. But now—" She looked at Jack, and in that moment, he understood too. Luna hadn't just been running from the Legion. Something greater had drawn her to Earth, to this place, to this moment. The Alphas attacked as one, their dark metal forms clashing with Luna's crystal avatar. The battle shook the ancient city as powers older than human civilization were unleashed. Jack wanted to help, but this wasn't his fight. Instead, he noticed something. Each time the Alphas struck Luna, hairline cracks appeared in their metal forms. The pure crystal was affecting them, breaking down the Legion's corrupted technology. Their connection, he realized. "Luna, the crystal is purifying the living metal. It's freeing them." Luna understood. Instead of attacking, she began to defend, letting the Alphas strike her crystal form again and again. With each hit, more cracks appeared in their dark armor. Inside those cracks, light began to shine through. "Remember who you were, sister," Luna called to Venna. "Remember what our people really are." The battle reached its peak as Luna unleashed the city's full power, not to destroy, but to heal. A wave of crystal energy washed over everything, and for a moment, the cavern was filled with blinding light. When it faded, Jack saw a sight he'd never forget. The Alphas' dark metal was gone. 3 luminaries stood there, tears streaming down their faces, their marks glowing with pure light once again. Venna looked at her hands, now free of the corrupted metal, and began to cry. But the victory came at a cost. Luna's crystal form began to crack, the power too much for her to contain. She fell from the air, her avatar shattering. "Luna!" Jack ran to catch her as she fell. The ancient city's crystals dimmed. The battle was over. But Luna lay unmoving in Jack's arms, her own crystals slowly going dark. Sometimes the price of saving others is everything you have to give. The question was, had Luna's sacrifice been enough to not just save her sister, but to change the future of 2 civilizations forever? Above them, through the hole the Alphas had made, the first light of dawn began to shine into the ancient city. A new day was coming, but would Luna live to see it? In the crystal city deep beneath the desert, Luna's body lay on an ancient altar, her form growing more transparent by the minute. Jack, Chen, Miller, and Thompson stood with Venna, and the other freed Alphas, watching as the last traces of light faded from Luna's marks. "There must be something we can do," Jack insisted, looking at the ancient luminary technology surrounding them. Venna touched her sister's hand, her own marks pulsing with renewed pure energy. "The Legion's ships are still up there. They'll send more forces when they realize we've broken free. But right now," she looked at the ancient temple's walls. "Right now, saving Luna is all that matters." The freed Alphas had revealed the terrible truth. Luna wasn't just dying from using too much power. The Legion had built a failsafe into all their experiments. If any transformed luminary fully rejected their control, their altered bodies would shut down. "These temples," Chen said, studying the glowing symbols on the walls. "They were meant for healing, weren't they?" "Yes," one of the other former Alphas, Mira, answered. "But this kind of healing was never tested. The Legion's changes go deep into our very essence." Suddenly, Thompson called out from his guard position. "We've got company. Legion ships entering the atmosphere. Lots of them." Through the hole in the cavern ceiling, they could see dark shapes descending from the sky. The Legion had sent their entire invasion force. "Wait," Miller said, looking at the ancient city's design. "These buildings, they're not random. They form a pattern." Jack looked closer. The crystalline towers formed a perfect geometric pattern around the central temple, like a massive circuit board or a resonator. Venna breathed, understanding dawning in her eyes. The entire city is one giant device for channeling energy. The Legion ships were getting closer. Their sensors would soon detect the underground city. The original living metal, Chen said, touching the temple's crystal walls. It responds to pure energy, to intention. That's why Luna could control it. Jack looked at the freed alphas. You three contained enough power to transform into giant creatures. If we could channel that energy through the city's matrix, into Luna, Vena finished. But it would take more. The Legion's failsafe is strong. Then let's give her more, Jack said, pulling out the remaining crystalline plasma they'd stolen. Everything we've got. The chamber shook as the first Legion ships landed on the desert above. Time was running out. Vena and the other freed alphas took positions around the temple, their marks beginning to glow. The ancient city's crystals resonated with their energy, creating harmonics that made the air itself vibrate. The city's awake, Mira said, her voice filled with awe. But it needs a focus, a key to direct the power. Jack looked at the crystalline plasma in his hands, then at Luna's marks. The key to controlling living metal. Without hesitation, he pressed the crystals into her marks. The effect was immediate and stunning. Energy coursed through the city's geometric pattern, flowing through each tower like light through a prism. The freed alpha's power merged with it, their forms glowing brighter and brighter. But something was wrong. The energy wasn't reaching Luna. It swirled around her but couldn't penetrate the Legion's failsafe. It needs, Vena strained, it needs something more, something they couldn't corrupt. Jack remembered Luna's words from their first meeting, her desperation for help, not just from the Legion, but from being alone. He remembered how she'd connected with them, shared her memories, trusted them when she had no reason to. He placed his hand over Luna's heart. You showed us your memories. Now let me show you one of mine. Jack closed his eyes and focused on a single pure memory, the moment he'd chosen to help Luna, not because of duty or protocol, but because it was right. Because compassion was something the Legion could never understand or corrupt. The energy changed. The geometric pattern shifted, forming new configurations. Human DNA patterns merged with luminary symbols, creating something entirely new. Luna's body began to glow from within. Her marks blazed not with alien light, but with a warm golden radiance. The failsafe crystallized and shattered. Above them, Legion ships detected the massive energy surge. They opened fire, their weapons drilling through the earth toward the city. The freed alpha's power reached its peak. The city's crystal matrix hummed with impossible harmonics. Jack's memory of compassion merged with Luna's essence, and in that moment of perfect synergy between human and luminary, something miraculous happened. Luna's eyes opened, but they weren't just purple anymore. They swirled with galaxies, filled with both human compassion and luminary power. She rose from the altar, her form solid again, but forever changed. When she spoke, her voice carried echoes of both worlds. The Legion wanted to force evolution, but true evolution comes from connection, from understanding, from choice. She raised her hands, and the entire city rose with her, its crystal towers piercing the surface, emerging into the desert dawn. The Legion ships faced something they had never expected, a perfect fusion of human spirit and luminary technology. Luna floated above the crystal spires, her new form radiating power that was neither human nor luminary, but something gloriously new. The Legion had wanted weapons. Instead, they had accidentally created the bridge between two civilizations. The ancient crystal city gleamed in the morning sun, its towers rising from the desert like diamonds catching fire. Legion ships surrounded it, their dark metal forms a stark contrast to the pure crystal below. At the city's heart, Luna hovered above the central spire, her transformed being radiating waves of golden-purple light. Surrender the traitors, the Legion commander's voice boomed from the largest ship. Submit to reconditioning or be destroyed. Luna looked down at Jack, her galaxy-filled eyes meeting his. In that shared glance was a lifetime of understanding. She saw every choice that had led him to help her, and he sought every possible future their two races could share. "I'll show you what true evolution means," Luna said, her voice carrying to all. She raised her hands, and the city responded in a way no one expected. The crystal towers didn't become weapons. Instead, they became windows. Through each crystalline surface, images appeared, memories playing out like living holograms. But these weren't just Luna's memories. They were humanity's. Every act of compassion, every moment of sacrifice, every time humans had chosen to help others even at great cost to themselves, all played out across the Crystal City. And alongside them, ancient memories of the Luminary, showing they had once been the same: explorers, healers, builders of bridges between worlds. "You forgot who we were," Luna said to the Legion ships. "You forgot why we created the living metal. It wasn't to conquer, it was to connect." She gestured to Jack and the others. "These humans could have left me to die, could have turned me over to you, could have taken our technology for weapons. Instead, they chose to help, to heal, to protect. That's true strength." The Legion commander's ship descended, its dark metal surface rippling with uncertainty. "Pretty words won't change the galaxy. Power is all that matters." "Then let me show you real power," Luna said. She touched the central spire, and something extraordinary happened. The city's crystal matrix began to pulse with a new frequency, one that made the living metal in every Legion ship resonate. But instead of destroying them, it began to purify them, just as it had the Alphas. The dark metal shifted, becoming transparent, revealing the truth within. Each ship was powered by captured Luminary, forced to merge with corrupted technology. "Feel what they feel," Luna commanded, connecting every mind present: human, Luminary, and Legion, in a vast network of shared consciousness. The Legion commanders experienced every moment of pain they had inflicted. The captured Luminary felt Earth's potential for hope, and humans witnessed both the horror of corruption and the possibility of redemption. In that moment of total understanding, choice became possible. One by one, Legion ships landed. Their crews emerged, choosing to accept the Crystal City's purifying touch. The living metal transformed, becoming clear as crystal, its true purpose restored. But the Legion commander made a different choice. His ship rose higher, its form twisting into something monstrous. "I will not be corrupted by weakness." He attacked, weapons powered by the pain of countless tortured souls. The blast struck Luna directly, engulfing her in dark energy. For a moment, everything stopped. The desert fell silent. Jack's heart seemed to freeze in his chest. Then Luna opened her eyes, and stars danced in their depths. The dark energy flowed into her transformed being and emerged as pure light. "Oh, Father," she said softly, and everyone understood. The commander was the one who had first ordered her transformation, his own daughter. "Let me help you too." Before he could react, Luna spread her arms wide. A wave of crystal energy washed over everything: the city, the ships, the desert itself. Where it touched, it didn't destroy. It revealed. It healed. It transformed. The commander's ship crystallized, its dark metal becoming pure once again. Inside, the commander himself faced the truth of what he had become and what he could choose to be. When the light faded, the desert had changed. The Crystal City now pulsed with both luminary and human life signs. Former Legion members stood with their freed captives, marks glowing with renewed purpose. And at the city's heart, Luna descended to stand with Jack and her sister Venna. "What now?" Jack asked, looking at the transformed landscape. Luna smiled, her galaxy eyes twinkling. "Now we build. Together." She touched the crystal spire, and new structures began to grow. Formations that were neither purely human nor luminary, but a perfect fusion of both. "The Legion wanted to force the next step in evolution," she said. "But true evolution comes from choice, from understanding, from love." She looked at her human friends. "You taught me that." Venna stepped forward, her own marks now shimmering with renewed purpose. We'll need to establish contact with both governments. This changes everything. It already has, Luna said, watching as humans and Luminary began working together, crystal technology responding to their combined potential. The Legion wanted weapons to conquer worlds. Instead, they created the bridge between them. Above them, the sun rose fully over the crystal city, its light refracting through the towers to create rainbows that danced across the desert. Where there had been darkness, now there was illumination. Where there had been fear, now there was possibility. And in the heart of it all stood a small group of humans who had chosen to help a dying alien girl, never knowing their compassion would reshape two civilizations. Sometimes the greatest revolutions don't come from weapons or wars. They come from simple choices, made in moments of truth, when we choose to see the light in others, even if they come from the stars. The story wasn't over. In many ways, it was just beginning. But that's another tale for another time. For now, in the Crystal City rising from Earth's desert, hope had found a new home. And it glowed with both starlight and human hearts.